Engineering is boring, but psychology is fascinating. At least that's what I think. When I look at engineering, which is the vast majority of my background, I see a science and an industry and ideas that are long established, are mostly well understood. Sure, there's a few things that are still being discovered and being um, explored, but for the most part, the science and the background within engineering, the typical engineering, seems pretty established. And that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. It's just for me, it's a little bit boring. On the other hand, psychology seems to be pretty new. We've been dealing with it for all of humanity, but as far as a scientific research and understanding and gathering of information, it's relatively young. It's relatively new science. And to me, that's exciting. That's interesting. There's a journey there. There's discovery, and so I get excited about that. And so again, I mean, there's nothing good or bad about either one of those ideas. I hope, but for me, that's where I'm coming from. Now, my engineering background isn't going anywhere, and when I look at it, right, we understand that engineering is applied science. So if you're a mechanical engineer or a civil engineer, you're applying physics. If you're a chemical engineer, you're applying chemistry. We understand that. So my question is, can we say that leadership and team building is applied psychology? Is there a way to combine engineering with this science of psychology? To me, what's really fun about that is the fact that with dealing with people, with leadership and all this social type of interaction, things aren't necessarily repeatable. So in the traditional sense of engineering, that type of science, physics, chemistry, other things, it lends itself to be repeatable. And a lot of engineers and technical folks are focused on that repeatability. They study something, they try to put together their formulas and their calculations so that they can have a repeatable solution that they can use over and over again to do their work and do their business. Whereas when you're dealing with people, they're changing constantly. So what worked today might not work tomorrow. And what works tomorrow might only have worked because of this certain specific situation with this specific person and this specific, time of day and, phase of the moon and the weather outside and all that kind of stuff. To me, that's what's fascinating is the idea that I could give something a try today and it might not work again tomorrow. And so I have to tweak and I have to adjust my approach. I find that journey to be motivating. I find that journey to be exciting. And so that's what I'm sharing with you today is this idea of, where did this guy who went down the engineering path kind of come out with, he's more interested in psychology than he is with engineering. And why is it that he's so into leadership and team building and working with different type of people? Because to me, it's fun, it's exciting, it's new, and there's still a lot to discover and understand. While at the same time, how do I use my background and my information and that side of my personality as far as an engineer to then build and strengthen my leadership and team building? And that's the way I see it. I see it as this interesting combination of trying to apply the science, to apply the psychology to leadership, team building, and all of these social interactions. Now, I don't know everything. I never will. I can't read everything. I probably won't. But I will be exploring, testing, observing, and more importantly, sharing. So if that's of interest to you, if that's, hey, I'll check this out, then I would welcome you to subscribe to the channel. Now, if this is the first video that you're watching, this is the fourth and final video of a playlist I put together to give you a better understanding of where I come from, my background, and where we're headed. So you can go to the channel's homepage, playlists, and look for Getting Started. And that's where all of those videos will be. So if you're interested in subscribing and want a little bit more information before you hit that button, I would invite you to watch those videos and head over to that playlist. Going forward, then, we'll be diving more into how-tos, information, different subjects on how we can build both leadership and our team building skills to make us better leaders and managers. So I encourage you to come along. Hopefully, I can help in any way. Again, add your comments and any suggestions you might have. But other than that, I'll just say, all right, until next time.